Just plan on winning this week, huh?
Wow.
You know, that would have worked if you had a cigar instead of the Pixies. That would have like a cigar. Like you plan on winning this week, huh?
Woohoo!
Welcome to the NFL Picks.
You've been drinking that much.
I was waiting for the picks to drink.
Take a couple of squigs, baby.
We're going to review last week. There's been some changes, but ain't no changes with me. I'm still in last place. I'm still going to drink this beer until Oktoberfest is over.
Chug. Come on, man.
Anyway, Ice, give me your summary of last week and some of the games that stood out while I sip on my beer and finish my picks.
Yeah, well, I tried to go away from the group, and they got me. Arizona stepped over Cleveland, had all kind of injuries. They did not step up, and Arizona looked like a really solid team. But on the flip side, Mar, baby.
Man.
Mar with a tight end and a wide receiver. That's all we got. Baltimore 34-6 over the Chargers, man. Tried to tell y'all, you coming out east, you better be ready. Mar ain't joking no more, man. He tired of y'all calling him out, saying what he can't do. And now they retiring his jersey down in the Ville. Mar, like, I dare somebody to come over here and try to take something from me. And the defense showed up for them that week. So Chargers, you good. You got a little ways to go. And last but not least, I get off of this too is just when you want to crown them. Like my man said, they are who we thought they were. Tennessee over Buffalo. Buffalo ain't ready yet, bro. I know y'all want to put them. You want to put them right there. They keep showing you little cracks. Then they'll have a nice little run, but as they get closer, they find a way to fold up like a tent. And they might prove me wrong in the end, but right now they still have work to do.
Yeah. All I'll say is Dallas Cowboy fans, don't start fitting those Super Bowl rings yet, because you have to go to overtime to beat New England. You ain't ready yet. Black, your summary.
I'm gonna say the same thing, man. This week was, to me, a week of discovery, because I took the Chargers to beat the Ravens, and the Ravens are fine. I said they was winning with spit. They're finding a lot of spit out of bubblegum.
A lot of bubblegum. Bubblicious.
Bro, they're coming out now and just kind of punching teams in the mouth and daring you to come back and beat us. And that's just, I'm like, that was just mantle of the Chargers. That wasn't just a beat. They just dismantled the Chargers, bro, on both sides of the field. Tennessee, again, like he said about Buffalo. Are you kidding me? It was like their defense. It seemed like their players, their quarterbacks were falling. They saw what's name coming. They was like, "Let me get down. Let me get down."
Made business decisions, man. You got to make.
Yes, I'm just like
50-pound running back coming at you.
And the Cowboys. I watched a little bit of that Cowboys. But I saw the score. Let me turn and watch the Cowboys play New England. And any other good team would have took the Cowboys down. And I know the Cowboys are riding on a high. They're very talented. But yes, I will say this too. I watched Seattle over the past week. I'm thinking this, man. They may not own up to it. I think Seattle's happy Russell Westbrook is hurt, bro.
Why would you say that?
They don't want him anymore. They don't want him. They don't, bro. They just signed another quarterback. First of all, they say it's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. They say 4 weeks. Then the next day, they put him on injury reserve, which means we won't see you for 6 weeks. They won't always see you. So they they want to go in a different direction, but they're doing it early. They know they're not winning that division this year. They know where they are. They're basically, what he did in the offseason, bro, they're not counting him anymore. They're not, bro. Watch what happens. I know sometimes I say things early. Watch what happened in the offseason between them and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
I would not be.
I said that last week. I don't expect him to be with Seattle.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They draft or trade for another quarterback. They no longer believe in Russ, bro. And I shouldn't say believe in, they no longer want to believe in Russ. Let me say that.
What the hell is happening with Metcalf, man? He's having this battle with Shannon Sharp, and he hasn't accomplished anything with the blue hair and all that other stuff. He's act like he's arrived as a receiver in the NFL, and I can't see it. But anywho, you had Icewater and Blackdoor with a 12-2 record last week, and me and Pop had a 10-4 record. Icewater leads with a overall record of 65-29. Blackdoor is one game behind him with a 64-30 record. Pop is one game behind Black with a 63-31 record. And I'm just.
How many games you behind me?
About 4 or 5 games, I guess. I don't know. I guess you know, you can loosen up a little bit. But I have.
You said this last. What's this? You said this last week.
I have a 61-33 record. So we're going to week 7 of the picks. And who you got? Icewater's going to pick first. Pop, I have his picks. He will pick second. Blackdoor pick third. And I'm bringing up the rear once again and picking fourth and picking last here. So
keep drinking, baby.
Yeah, I said Oktoberfest. That's why I'm going to do it. I'm committed.
Puma, it's that bamboo stand you got. You know what I'm saying? See if you working it out.
We got Kung Fu in the house.
Take a puppet from my hand. It's time for you to leave.
All right. First game on tap is Denver versus Cleveland. I know you went with Cleveland last week, Ice, and they did you dirty. They did you dirty. And Baker's talking about he's playing on Thursday regardless. I don't think so. He has some torn ligaments in his non-throwing shoulder. But hey, if I was Denver, I would be laying on him every play I could to get him out of the game. Who you got?
Well, not only is it the Cleveland Browns doctor that said he's out, his own personal doctor said you need to sit your ass down. +2, Chubb is not going to play. Hunt is out. I mean, everybody's out. Then there's a chance that Landry still may not come back. OJ Beckham may not play. And Case Keenum is the backup. Really? Nah, man. So I'm going with Denver. It's an easy one right there. 2 weeks in a row, I went with Cleveland. Jumping off the ship, man. I'm going to Denver. Come on, Teddy.
Papa's going with Denver also. Black, who you got?
Yeah, I'll go with Denver, man. They showed me a little bit something last week. Teddy's out there playing. They're not a bad team. I'll go with Denver. Yeah, it's funny because you kind of saw the wheels. I was kind of rooting for Cleveland this year. They have a good year, but I think the wheels came off for them last weekend, man. Both those running backs are down. The quarterback's down. Kasem is not. Even what's name is playing to play. He's out hurt. Their superstar receiver. Yeah, they're in tough shape, bro.
Yeah, and I heard some reports that Odell Beckham is talking about leaving. He wants out of there. So expect them to have a little tirade on the sideline sometime this season. Next game on tap is Atlanta against Miami. Ice, who you got?
Wow, Atlanta's so up and down. Well, Miami is just in bad shape right now. They're so desperate. They're trying to figure this out, as I mentioned earlier, about the trade deadline for Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. Tua's trying to move forward, but they're struggling. Fuller, the wide receiver, has been injury reserve, all kind of stuff of craziness. They need to figure it out. The owner is already saying, figure this out. So with that being said, I gotta go against them. I gotta go with the Birds. I gotta go with the Falcons over Miami.
All right. Pop is going with Miami. Black, who you got?
What is this game being played?
In Miami.
Wow. Who Ice went?
ATL. Here we go. Let me sip my beer and wait for your decision.
Yeah, do that, baby, please. Even though Tua didn't play too bad last year, last week, I think Miami's finally coming around to realizing he's not the future. He's just not it, bro. I don't know why I didn't realize it last year, With that being said, I don't trust the Falcons, but I'm gonna take him because I just don't trust Miami, bro.
Yeah. I
just don't trust Miami. Even though I would have preferred this game being Atlanta, but I'll take Atlanta on the road.
Yeah, I think people need to start looking at the head coach for Miami. You know, you can talk about Tua and everybody else, but I would start looking. You go all the way overseas and get beat by Jacksonville. And remember, we were talking about last year and early this year, Miami is putting the team together. They're getting draft picks. You got to start looking at the coach. So I'm going with Atlanta, ATL on this one. Next game on tap is Carolina at the New York Giants. All right, so you got.
Who did Blake Thor pick?
Come on, Pop. We got to break this up because these two are clowning. We got to break this up.
Well, you know, the Giants trying to find a way to get it done. Barkley's probably out. Daniel Jones is, who knows. As much as they want to point to, I read something they thought Giants might be making a run. Now I'm going to go with Carolina just because of the factor that they have moments. I think this is another moment for them. And sometimes they have good days, and the Giants are kind of a bad team. Anyway, Carolina. Yeah, I'm just trying to be polite, man.
Don't be polite. Because when Dallas go back down, I'm not going to be polite at all.
I mean, that's fine. See, that's different between you and myself and you. See, that's okay. I don't need to be the results and everything speak for itself. I don't need to be. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it 100. I ain't gonna beat the Giants down because you already know. Why I got to keep talking about? They're horrible. You saw it. You watch it every week. You know what the hell is going on. Why do I have to beat them up? You already know. You at home going, damn.
Please, Giants, fire that coach. Please fire that coach.
I think he sunk your battleship, man.
Yeah, he sure did.
E49. Look, E49.
Papa's going with Carolina. Black. How come they ain't fired the coach yet?
Well, Giants have a habit of trying to wade through. Giants are always going to be like, they're sophisticated. They're better than every other organization. And they don't want to do what they want to see. That general manager, they made a big mistake. Let's be honest. Hiring a general manager. They just did. Big mistake they made of hiring him. But they listened to the old general manager retire and said, hire him. Good friends, buddies. I think they're Jewish. Anyway, I'm taking Carolina, man. Carolina battles, win or lose. Even last week, they came back and made it a game. That quarterback is playing better now that he's in Carolina. And I think they have a decent coach. I think that coach is on to something. He finds a way to get them to play hard and play strong. We forget that Cafferty's no longer there. So they're playing. Giants are a mess, bro. They just are a mess. I mean, they have a quarterback that, I don't even be honest with you, I don't know how he played last week, bro. He was concussed against the Cowboys. Concussed. Seriously. He got up and was woozy and walking, and he played? I mean, it's amazing. When you stop and think about it, I looked at that and I was like, I mean, what happened to the concussion protocol? Is it still available? But I guess for certain teams and certain players, they bring up when they want to. Yeah. But I mean, let's be. I said this early in the season. I want the Giants to lose at least 12 games, man. At least 12, maybe 13, 14, if possible. Force the ownership to do something. You all pay, you charge people big dollars to sit in MetLife and watch this garbage. You got to be kidding me, bro. You got to be kidding me. Get yourself a good general manager. There's too many good head coaches out here that go to New England and pull a freaking out of special teams that don't know how to coach a little league football team. Let's be honest, bro. Stop it. Get real. Bring and then you bring in this. I can't even get it out. There's so many creative offensive minds. You bring Garrett in as your offensive coordinator. You bring Garrett. What are you doing? With all the offensive minds out there, I mean, you got college assistant coaches that can come in and run rings around Garrett offense, and you bring him in and think you're gonna do what? No, forget this man was in your division. You're gonna bring him in to coach? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You don't think the rest of the teams in the division know his play calling?
Yeah.
You gotta be. I mean, really, it's so acid. I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
This is the fourth consecutive year with the Giants. I think the first year under this coach, they went 1-5, 2-4, 1-5, and here we are at 1-5 again. So, come on. So, pile on. Dallas fans, all the fans, Robert, pile on. Giants are bad, pile on. I mean, rake them across the coals until the Giants figure out what they need to do. But they don't want to pile on because here's the thing. If you fire your head coach right now in the middle of the season, guess what you're going to do? You're going to hire Garrett as your head coach to take over. So Dallas is win-win, baby.
We can't. Dallas cannot lose. You're gonna interim head coach Jason.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the dumbest hires. You looked at the way he ran the offense in Dallas and decided he could be our offensive coordinator.
No.
Woo, man. Y'all look, y'all make this too easy this week.
No. All right, next game on tap. I got to get away from this, and I got to get these guys talking so I can drink some more beer. Cincinnati at Baltimore. Who you got, Ice?
Ooh, Cincinnati or Baltimore. Cincinnati's been playing real strong. This is the kind of game that they might try to win, but unfortunately, I like their defense, but I can't go against my boy Marmar. Marmar taking on all comers, baby. Who next? Marmar, man. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are balling. They don't care. I think it'll be an interesting game because I think Cincinnati might try to score and Baltimore defense can't slow them down. But, Lamar Jackson has a way of watch. There'll be two plays in this game that you're going to say, oh, my God. Because something about Lamar Jackson versus the Bengals. He did remember the one time when he was running a couple years ago where he stopped and did the Barry Sanders spin and ran for a touchdown. He did a couple of those. So he's going to make two plays in this game, but Baltimore.
Yeah. Pop is also going with Baltimore. Black, who you got?
Baltimore got something going on, man. I mean, I think Cincinnati is a formidable opponent. They're trying to build some things over there. They're coming on pretty strong, but they're not ready for Baltimore, bro. They're not. I mean, Lamar is really kind of defining himself in the pocket. His passes could be a little better, but he is basically defining himself, in my opinion, in the pocket where he's reading the hell out of defenses, bro. The hell out of defenses. And that, when his arm catches up with his reading the defense, he's going to damn near be unstoppable. Because if he decides to take off and run, he sees where you're not, it's not much you can do, bro. And what's going to happen with him in defense is he's going to frustrate you so much to where he wears you down by the third and fourth quarter. You can get tired chasing him. You'll get tired chasing him and trying to figure him out. It's over.
Yeah. One thing I liked what they did, I picked the Chargers to win, but what I thought they made an improvement on, I'm speaking of Baltimore, is usually before this game, Lamar Jackson would kind of hold on to the ball before he gives it to the running back, and they couldn't get the running back in the running game going. Now he's handing it off so that it doesn't give time for the defense to kind of give them that 1 or 2 seconds to kind of figure out who has the ball and to get in the gaps. So they did make that improvement. I expected the Chargers to show up. They never showed up in this game. Never showed up. So I'm going with Baltimore with this game too. Next game on tap is Kansas City versus Tennessee. I don't know if Kansas City want to see Tennessee after what they did Monday night. Ice?
Wow, tough game here. Because we still looking for the Kansas City defense. But I got a treat as I was watching football last week. I got a chance to watch Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, Marmar play first. And then Kansas City played. I said, man, this is two of the best mobile quarterbacks. And, man, it was worth the price of admission. I haven't watched great football like that in a long time. And Tennessee found a way to beat Buffalo, and everybody's excited. Derrick Henry, they're back. Don't get it twisted. Trying to tell you, Kansas City is coming back. They're going to win this game. And that means it has to be a shootout. All they need to do is get in front, which I think they will do. Derrick Henry can't catch up with them. And I don't think their defense is going to show up for 2 weeks in a row. And Patrick Mahomes is not going to let that go down like he did again before. So I'm choosing Kansas City.
All right. Papa's going with Tennessee in this one. Black, who you got?
Yeah, I'm very tempted to go with Tennessee. If Tennessee's been playing well all year, I would probably pick up on it and go with them. But Tennessee defense is horrible, bro. I know they're going to run the ball. But if Kansas City get out front early, that negates the run, in my opinion. I was thinking Tennessee, but I think Kansas City, that defense, they're going to light up Tennessee. Neither one have a good defense. But only one team has Patrick Mahomes, and that's Kansas City. I'm going to take Kansas City.
Yeah, you said something key there. Kansas City got to get off early. If they get behind in Tennessee, they're going to be in trouble because they usually play like they'll give the team 14, 17 points, and then they try to play comeback. I don't think they can do that with Tennessee with that running game. But I'm going with Kansas City. Hopefully they'll come out really hot and be the front runner in this game instead of trying to play from behind. Next game on tap is the New York Jets versus New England. Who you got, Ice?
Wow, New York Jets. Are they still playing? Oh,
Yeah,
anyway.
I think they had a bye week last week.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was wondering. I missed them.
They're still playing.
Yeah, I wondered too because they didn't see him last week. So
Like, damn, what them Jets say anyway?
cold.
Well, I don't know how good New England is, but they put a scare in Dallas. Mac Jones tried to do a little something, and they played real hard. I think Bill Belichick, there's no way in hell. I don't care how bad they are. He's not going to let the Jets beat him. He's not trying to feel that. So he's going to find a way to try to get it done. And best pick on defense. So that quarterback better run for his life. So I'm going to choose New England to win this game.
All right, Papa's going with New England. Who you got, Black?
Yeah, I'm taking New England here, man. I mean, the Jets, they might be, just kind of rolling through the season. New head coach, they've kind of find their way. They stepped up. The Patriots, I'm speaking of, when they played the Cowboys. They found something, and they kind of worked on something. They stepped up. Their defense got more aggressive. Their offense got more aggressive. So they shouldn't have a problem taking care of the Jets.
All right. Next game on tap is Washington at Green Bay. Who you got, Ice?
We've been waiting on Washington's off defense all year long, and it has not showed up, unfortunately. And Aaron Rodgers has his swag back, man. Trying to tell Chicago, I own you. He talking stuff. Yeah, he been running his mouth, but I ain't mad at that. I like that because he putting his mouth, he putting it down. He's backing up what he said he was going to do. So with that being said, I have to choose Green Bay. Keep it rolling.
All right. Papa's going with Green Bay too. Black?
Yeah, I said a good point, man. What happened to Washington's defense, bro? What happened? I mean, it's like you're expecting them to come out of the gates and be gangbusters, and it's like they get smoked some games, bro. And that offense is still, find their way with the quarterback, but that defense is just not. They should be winning or losing close games, and that's not the case. This one, they're not going to win or lose this one close either. I forgot who they're playing, but I'm not taking Washington.
Yeah. Green Bay, when Aaron Rodgers did that in the end zone, man, it just shut Chicago up because he owns the Bears. He owns them. They cannot beat that guy. I don't care what defense you had. You had Khalil Mack come in that first game. Y'all thought y'all were going to win. He owns them. And it showed me that he got the passion back to play. He got the passion back to play because last year in the playoffs, he wouldn't be running for touchdowns.
No.
This year, he's running in the end zone. He don't care who's coming after you. He's going in to score. And so it seems like he has that passion again. And so I got to go with Green Bay. Next game on tap is Detroit versus the Los Angeles Rams. This should be a battle of they switch quarterback, and they're going to be talking about this all week and all weekend. Ice, who you got?
Rodgers in the discount double check is back, baby. Anyway. Yeah, Detroit and the Rams. Yeah, this is gonna be where's this at in LA?
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as they've been already talking about replacing Goff, the coach is talking about he needs to see more. So you're talking about replacing him, but I think the backup is so bad that you're almost gonna be forced to keep Goff in there. And this is the type of game that Stafford is going to say, I'm gonna show y'all why the hell what I was talking about for 12 years, why y'all should have helped provide me with more talent to surround me with talent. And this is what I do when I had talent. So the Rams all day, going with the Rams.
All right. Papa's going with the Rams. Black, I would think Goff would say, I need you to stop crying on press conferences. You need to see more from me. You need to stop crying, coach. Who you got?
If he was playing better, he could say that, man, because I watched Goff last Sunday, man. And that rascal, how was he drafted that high? Is the question. How? I know why. Look at his complexion. That's why I'm going to tell you that. His height and his complexion. There's no other reason why. And this coach for the Rams trying to play nice, like, he regret not, telling him, he's going to trade him. Bro, you ain't going to go back and apologize for that. He stinks. You saw it. You knew it. You coached him. He stunk. It's football. You ain't got to be nice about nothing. Go in there and wax that ass. So, trust me. Rams, baby.
I'm going with the Rams, too. Let's go to the next game. Wax that ass. Philly at Las Vegas. Who you got, Ice?
Wow, Philly at Las Vegas. Philly's, you know, Jalen Hurts has found a fellow alum throwing the ball to from Alabama. It looked pretty good. But I don't know. Raiders they lost their coach. Carr's due. It's in Las Vegas.
It's in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders, man. Raiders let you down for a minute. They play with you, and then just it's kind of like Lucy in the Peanuts character. Get ready to kick the football. Just when you think you got it, she pull up the ball. He's like, now they get in, Charlie Brown. You know it's gonna happen. So I'm going with the Raiders one more time.
Papa's going with Philly. Black, who you got?
Woo!
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of the Philly game, and the commentators made an interesting point. Their quarterback is running more than their running backs. That's not the way to win NFL, bro. That's not going to serve you well. He has more carries than your running back, which says to me, I don't think they trust their running game at all. The Raiders played a little inspired last week after losing their head coach, man. I think they might play better without him. I'm taking the Raiders.
All right. I'm going with Las Vegas also with that. They played inspired last week, but I don't expect that will stretch out for the rest of the season. I don't. Next game on tap is Chicago at Tampa Bay. Yes, Tom. Ice.
Well, you know what? I'm glad Justin Fields is winning. I'm glad the people in Chicago are happy. Got a few wins under your belt, even though he shouldn't be starting, but you drafted him and he's doing the best he can. So Justin, congrats, bruh. Nothing like that, you know, Buckeye love for you. But you're going against Tom, bruh. And you already know what happens there. It's just gonna handle his business. And it's in Tampa too?
It's in Tampa.
Yeah, they struggled. Well, they struggled the last game. So unfortunately, they're gonna kind of show you what time it is. And Justin, run for your life, bruh. Run for your damn life. Because Tampa Bay's off a week on or off and on a week, kind of like Minnesota, good Kirk Cousins, bad Kirk Cousins. This week they own. So run for your life, brother. Stay safe and I hope you're vaccinated. But I'm going with Tampa Bay.
All
right, Papa's going with Tampa Bay. Black, I'm looking at Tampa Bay's defense, and I wouldn't be scared if I was Justin Fields. They can't stop anybody.
No, I wouldn't be either, man. They'll Tampa Bay win this game, but it's not going to be based on their defense.
No.
Okay. I would have their defense, man. I really don't. It's another thing. I mean, you look at them from the Super Bowl, what happened? I mean, they played so strong during the playoffs, but it's like now, same coordinator, basically, they brought everybody back. Maybe it's a hangover. Maybe they wait to the playoffs. Who knows, man? But that defense has shown up, man.
I agree with that. I just want to say one thing, though. I just want you to stay close and remember the sack count. That's all I want. Sack count.
Keep the sack count down. Yeah.
Gotta go. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So Black, you going with Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay, yes.
Yeah, it's Tampa Bay across the board. I'm going with Tampa Bay also. Look at that little man, Ice. Houston at Arizona. That little Yoda is something else. He is, I think, a front runner for MVP, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Well, we already know what's going on. Houston's about to trade the best quarterback they have on the schedule, on the roster, and it's not played all year. And the coach is like, this ain't my team. I don't know what you want me to do. Anyway. So.
I wonder if that's how it really sounds, because you make me laugh every time you imitate it.
Anyway, so I'm gonna go with that little man. I think they're gonna end up putting Green back there at quarterback in the second half after they run the score up on him in the first half. He's gonna put Green, AJ Green at quarterback in the second half, because that's how bad it's gonna be. So Arizona.
Yeah. Papa's going Arizona. Black, everybody's talking about Arizona's offense, man. They are really slipping and sleeping on the Arizona defense.
And I agree with you, man. They're a well-rounded team, bro. When you think about this, you know, when you think about 2 years ago, they fired their head coach, got rid of their quarterback. They speak about the Giants. They brought in a young offensive mind, and they've been clicking and moving in the right direction ever since, man. So, no, I mean, they got the right formula. They took care of the defense, the offense. Even Connor is starting to look good on that team running the football. I'm like, that's not the same Connor as you had at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers. That's not the same cat. Yes, it is. Yeah, they won this game convincingly, easily, man. I'm just going to say this. And I know the trade deadline's coming up. I don't think Deshaun Watson's going anywhere, bro. And it's not because Miami don't want him. It's not because you don't want to trade him. I don't think the NFL wants him to go anywhere because if you trade him, it's going to be talk. Why he's not playing? Why is he not playing? Why is he not playing? They want that to go away. They want him to go away. It's the reason why Houston's not playing him. They want him to go away for the season, bro. Even if they trade him, the commissioner's going to set him down. He will not play this year. Just my opinion.
I mean, I'm with that. I agree with that 100%, but this ain't about this year. This is about them in the future. They know what they need. So I agree with you 100%. He may not play, but it's not about this year. They're looking at the future. Deshaun Watson, if they can clear this crap up, he just can do something differently for their franchise. With the pieces, they put the right pieces together. So I agree with you 100%. He probably won't play.
I'm going to say this, man. I'll say this about Miami, bro. It's a lot of strip clubs down. May not be the place for Deshaun Watson. May not be the spot.
Hey.
You need to check. They got a football franchise in Utah. So
that's not the spot either. When I hear some of my
I ain't gonna say that, man. That's how I say.
Utah's not the spot either.
Oh.
I remember one of my buddies who's played for the Illini, played in the NBA, and he was like, after a road trip at Utah, he went to Jesus. So they're doing it. They're doing something really freaky in Utah for him to say, you know what, I got to find Jesus after this trip. So Utah ain't the spot either. Yeah. Arizona across the board. Let's move on. Indiana versus Garofalo and the San Francisco 49ers. Ice?
Oh, wow. Indianapolis and, where's that at?
San Francisco.
Oh, my God. Is Garoppolo playing this week?
I think he is.
I'm trying to see. San Francisco.
San Francisco? Okay.
Yep. San Francisco. Yep.
All right. Pop is going Indianapolis. Winston's been playing pretty good in the last few weeks. Indianapolis looks like they want to play some football. Black, who you got?
Yeah. 2-quarter Garoppolo. I can't trust him, baby. I can't trust him. My man on the sideline was sprained ankle. Wrap that son of a bitch up, get out there. What's the matter with you? I can't do that. Colts, baby. I'm taking the Colts.
Indianapolis.
Who did I pick?
This is the first time in a long time you and Pop picked the same team, because I'm going with San Francisco on this one. I'm going to go with them at home. The last game on tap is New Orleans against the Seattle Seahawks. Ice?
Wow. James, James, famous James.
You got to put your head in your hand, man.
Yeah,
when you
man,
talk about
yeah, oh my God. Is he gonna throw 5 touchdowns or 5 interceptions? We don't know. Oh my God. Anyway.
It's exciting, I can say that.
Yeah, he does. He does. Wait, hey, you open? No, I'm not. Don't throw it. 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 But poor Geno Smith, man. My heart goes out for him. He was moving the team along, and he had an opportunity where he's trying to run, and he forgot to tote that ball. And round the corner,
that's a heartbreaker.
Round corner come one of those one of those boys, one of those fellas. One of the white boys came around that corner, get that boy right there too. White boy, how they say one of the white boys. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but so I feel for Geno, but nah, man, it's too much for Geno. But famous James, let's go, baby. I think he can't be that damn bad. He'll find a way. He'll scare the hell out of you, but they'll find a way to win this game. So gonna roll with famous James in New Orleans.
All right. Pop is going with Seattle at home. He always goes with Seattle at home. I think this should be an interesting game on Monday night. Black, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Saints for this one, man. I don't trust Seattle's defense. That quarterback I can't battle behind. Hopefully he's not betting anybody else to get his jaw broken, but I'll take the Saints, man.
No. I gotta go with the Saints too. Pop is the only one going with Seattle. Those are our picks. Check us out on Twitter and on Facebook. Rewind this show because sometimes folks kind of get amnesia about who they pick sometimes. So we will see you next week in week 8. And they had the parade yesterday for the WNBA new champs, Chicago Sky. And it was good to see. You had a lot of folks out there. Now Chicago seems to be on board with celebrating a champion in sports because we haven't had a champion in a while. Black Thor, you do the WNBA report. What are your thoughts about the new champions, Chicago Sky?
It's interesting, man, because I did not see this during the season. As we talked previously, Candace Parker, I think she missed 7 games throughout the season. They lost all 7. And you don't want to take one person and say one person has such a monumental impact on a franchise, but let's be honest, bro, she did. She did. And maybe she wasn't one always balling, but just what she was able to bring and deliver to that franchise got them over the hump. And players, I think I was reading this a while ago. I think one of the old guard, there was 2 players there that weren't fond of the coach. They didn't think he was doing his job. Last year, they weren't really kind of clicking with him. She kind of came in and settled that, leveled that out. She's a fan of his. He knew her. So she brought more credibility to the team for the coach. And I think those other players started to buy in because of Candace Parker. If you look at how they kind of moved through the playoffs, man, it's amazing how they kind of basically just kind of went through the playoffs, knocking down good seeds, knocking down good teams. And look what happens, bro. I mean, the game they lost, technically, the game they lost to Mercury, they should have won that game, bro.
Yeah, they should have.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna go back, and it's interesting because the series itself, believe it or not, I think there was a couple of games where 1 million viewers tuned in to watch. Well, WNBA game, that's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot, bro. I mean, that's a lot. So they're not used to those type of numbers, and more companies want to kind of sponsor the league as well. But the president's got to be careful because what she's allowing a couple of players to do and that team to do is ugly. And it's going to stain the league. Diana Taurasi should not have played the next game. I know you want to keep her in. And it's amazing to think. We talked about this about a week ago. She was voted the GOAT of the league. Are you kidding me? Seriously. So after the fans basically gave you a stamp of approval, you basically do this to a referee, shoves her. And the rule states if you touch a referee, you are suspended. And you're basically, the next game you can't play. Now, that game itself, she should have been kicked out. I don't understand how she was able to finish. Now, if she didn't finish that game, they would have, I'm pretty sure the Mercury would not have won that game. Then you allowed her to play the following game. And I'm sure you two heard about basically when the game was over, the team didn't talk to the press. They ran away, damaged the locker room, ripped the door off the hinges. So this is what you're going to allow that team to do, the Mercury to do. This is what you're going to basically sell to the league. I mean, sell to your fans. Not to mention, you had 2 other players. Think about this: when Atlanta Dream, about a month ago, in the parking lot, slugging it out like yes,
I found
slugging it out. And the franchise said goodbye to them. The only difference I see here with those 2 women that got pushed to the side and Diana Taurasi, those 2 ladies are black. Diana Taurasi is white. Let's be honest. So for some reason, they did not want to take her off the floor, but you got to deal with that. Don't be quiet and act like nobody knows what they did in that locker room, because all this is going to come back to bite you in the ass if you don't deal with it. Now, with all that being said, congratulations to Chicago Sky. The team was much more sophisticated than Phoenix Mercury. He deserved to win. Congratulations, man. Enjoy it. Save it all in off season. I hope good riches come to them because they played hard, man. They played the right way. They played well. And Cooper, that young lady, goodness, I said this last week. If I didn't, I meant to say it. You could bring her and put on some of these NBA teams. So she could maybe not start, but she can come off the bench and do some damage because that young lady can ball.
Icewater, I know Black was saving Candace Parker and praise for Candace Parker for you, bro. So chime in on the WNBA champion, Chicago Sky.
I just want to say, Candace, I've been down since day one, baby. When you came over, I told them. They were looking like, whatever, they don't know. I said, but the one thing about her is, and I don't want to, make comparisons, but the team was dynamite. They were young in a way, but they needed some guidance. And it almost, I don't want to put too close to it, but almost reminded me of watching Tom Brady, seriously, from the standpoint the way she came over. They had great players, came in, she pushed them and kind of worked their magic because she had been there before, and they bought in. Even the coach, the coach was type of guy. Nobody would say, oh, he's going to win the championship, not like that. In fact, they was talking about him a lot, talking about why he shouldn't, how he got the job. And they didn't know if he was qualified to coach Candace Parker, but they brought it all together full circle. I'm happy for them because, as Blackthorn said, they won it the right way. They worked hard. Candace was just ecstatic to be home. I was so glad to see her emotional. That's what real sports is about, man. When you see a person that's a superstar, came back home and she couldn't control herself because she was glad to bring the championship back. But in regards to the Phoenix team and Don Taurasi, I'm glad they let her play. I'm glad because at the end of the day, it showed you it didn't matter. Chicago was about that business. They handled their business. And it does show you that some athletes are pampered, they're spoiled because of the factor that they're the top dogs. So therefore they get away with stuff, they get special treatment, happens all the way across the board. But I'm happy for Chicago because they didn't care. I mean, think about that. I'm not saying that Chicago really didn't have qualified players, but you think about Diana Taurasi, Griner, right? Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me, bro? She playing against men. She almost like playing against a dude and so many others, these superstars. And Chicago is like, if y'all don't bring it, we're gonna beat y'all. And that's what they did. That, to me, that exemplifies what sports is about. You can be talented as you want to. If you don't play hard enough, if you don't play well together with chemistry, you can lose. I love it. And particularly with Candace Parker, because I think they've been disrespecting her a little bit anyway from that Olympic stuff, and then her, just trying to think, not considered one of the, some people didn't really mention her about being the GOAT or in that top 5. She had to struggle to get in that. So you know what? Candace is probably at home. I saw her with a champagne bottle earlier, getting her champagne on and just laughing at home, laughing her butt off, going, I had nothing else to say. If she don't win another damn game, she brought a championship home to Chicago. That's love, bro.
Yeah, she really made Chicago proud. Also going to one of the favorite restaurants here, Portillo's. If you haven't been to Portillo's when you come to Chicago, you're missing out. So she pulled a page out of the Greek Freaks page and went through the drive-through and got her favorite meal, I think 16-piece, whatever. And got her some Portillo's with some of her teammates. So congratulations, salute to Chicago Sky. And hopefully you can keep the team together. I don't know if Candace is going to continue to play, but hopefully you can keep the team together. Black, you shaking your head?
No, it would be nice if she could, but I think it's time for Candace Parker to move on to television, bro. I mean, she has nothing else to do with in the league, in my opinion. TV is waiting on her. Either it's ABC or TNT is waiting on her, and it's about time to move on. I mean, she has done everything she can do. I would hate to see her come back and basically kind of plot through a season and may not win, maybe even get hurt for that matter. I hate to say that, but it's time for her to elevate herself into television. She's a natural, bro. If you watched her on TNT, she's a natural. Robin Roberts has basically been mentoring her. They're preparing her for bigger things, bro. So it's time for her to move on. It really is, man. She has so many options available to her. I would like to just kind of move on. I mean, it was great watching her through college, through the league. You've done it all. Ice will be there following you. So go on, do your thing, girl.
Right. Wherever you at, girl. Like I said, you always got a home in Columbus. You got a spot. Your second home. Come on home.
Right, let's go to an NBA eye test before we go to some of the stories in the NBA. I was watching a little bit of Milwaukee and Brooklyn Nets, and Brooklyn tried to stay in there, but they just couldn't. It just seemed like the Greek Freak has just improved his game. And they always say a championship makes you a little bit better. And so you can see it in this team. Also, watching the Lakers and Golden State. Now, I was mentioning this to Black before the show started, is that the Lakers look really good for 3 quarters. I mean, they were running around like they were 19. And then as soon as Carmelo had like an Alzheimer's moment at the foul line where he forgot to release the ball and it was called for a violation, it started going all the way downhill. The Golden State Warriors took some of the veterans off the court, put the young guys in, and they went to town on the Lakers. And the 4th quarter was Golden State's. So I'm going to go to Ice first, his eye test about the NBA.
Yeah, let's start with Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Milwaukee, they played like champions. You could tell something was missing from Brooklyn. We know that it was missing. But regardless, Milwaukee handled their business. They came through. It will be interesting to see how they go through the rest of the season. It's one game. Giannis did look improved, look like he's working on his free throws, but it's a long season, and it's a lot of things can happen. So, as they said, I'm not going to crown them just yet. You know, as Dennis Green said, after one game, they won it, but saying they're going to win back-to-back, I'm not going to crown them just yet. But
last week was the anniversary of that.
Yeah. So kudos to them for that. They were impressive. Plus working some other people in there too. I saw that with some new pickups, and they had a lot of people. They had a few people out too. So the way that they played, they did what they had to do. Man, Lakers, Golden State. Look, try to tell y'all to leave that Golden State alone. Y'all like trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to because the one point you mentioned, what I thought was really great from the standpoint of bringing the young guys in. That Poole, man.
Yeah.
Poole was I mean, he came down, he got hot, and then he came down and had a heat check where he tried to flip from half court. And Steve Kerr caught him over immediately. Like, what the fuck are you doing? that's we don't do that over here. You're not ready. But the one thing I found interesting about that, they played hard. Young guys were playing hard. Draymond Green is priceless on that squad.
Yeah.
You know, he takes over, he runs the point. Iguodala starting to get back in there a little bit, grabbing some rebounds. Just the way that they played collectively. Kevin, was it Looney?
Mm-hmm.
Looney was playing real strong. But to have, what I found really nice about the new additions and the younger guys too was this. You always had either Draymond Green on the court with them, or you always had Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And it was like they balanced them. It was like, okay, you get over here, you learn it. In fact, they said, we're going to shoot more threes now because instead of trying to make it just be Clay, Steph, and whoever else shooting threes by themselves, we're going to get people in position so we can always have a scoring threat. But the way that they orchestrated that, they rebounded, the young guys got under control. Steph had a horrible game. He said it. Said he had a trash game.
Only his double when he had a trash game.
Yeah, his 8th triple-double in his career. He's like, it was horrible. I was horrible. But it just shows you what they're capable of. I think the Lakers are going to be okay. It's just the chemistry, man. You got to learn how to, nobody knows who's doing what. They learn chemistry. Do I shoot the ball? Do I do this and that? But I think in the end, once they get it down, they're going to be okay. But, hey, again, if you're playing, you don't have chemistry and you don't play well, a team that's supposedly a little bit more subpar talent-wise than you are can't beat you. Perfect example of that last night. They was all over Steph Curry. But Golden State played harder, and they played better and smarter down the stretch, and they took it. So I'm ready to see what happens the rest of the way. A lot more other games going on, but that was a nice little opening night because I usually don't watch all the game, but I watched that Golden State game to the end. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Golden State definitely going to be considered a dark horse. There's two things I noticed, Black, with the Lakers, is that the chemistry was really off, and usually Westbrook is the alpha dog on any team he plays for. He was not the alpha dog last night. It seemed like he was out of place because Bron is the alpha dog of that team. And it just seemed like Westbrook was really out of place. Usually this guy has a triple-double. I think he scored 8 points last night, and he just looked out of place. The other thing is that they got videotape of your boy Kyrie playing pickup games while the Brooklyn Nets playing the world champions. Black, your thoughts on basketball in the NBA right now?
I'm gonna start with Milwaukee first because I think sometimes us as fans and commentators, it's hard to respect a team sometimes that's not flashy. You look at a team like a Brooklyn Nets and you go, yeah, they got, and they automatically, before they earn it, you give them that respect. Milwaukee has basically earned their respect, but we still want to be like, nah, we're not sure about them. As far as I'm concerned, this league right now belongs to the Greek freak. It's his league, bro. It's his time, it's his league, and everyone else is going to take a back seat. Now, with that being said, I'll move to the Lakers. I hear the story about the chemistry and all this stuff. I think the biggest problem the Lakers, I was watching them against Golden State. I didn't watch the whole game, just for a section. And I'm looking at this team like, anybody know their roles?
Yeah.
What are their roles, man? What player, you have so many Eagles on this team, who's going to play the role of, okay, I'm just going to play defense. I'm going to get a rebound. I'm going to go do this. You got Anthony Davis floating around like he's a point guard himself. I see Rajon shooting up, and Rajon was never an outside shooter. He's popping off shots like it's going on. They're all popping off threes, and it's like, what's the role of this team? So to me, it's like it's like, you know, LeBron is. I'm not going to say LeBron because he's the general manager of the team. Basically, they kind of turned it over to him. He put all these players together. They don't have no idea what they're doing. They really don't. And if Frank Zogo, if the head coach, I think that's his name correctly, if he doesn't step in and assign roles and delegate, they're going to be what their role last night. Like you said, they're going to play good for 3 quarters because they're all about flash. I'm with LeBron. I want to look good. I want to get mine. And then when it comes down to basically playing crunch and playing in tight situations, they're not going to be able to handle it. They're not going to be able to handle it because they don't know their roles. They're sitting around waiting to find out what's going on. And that should have been determined in the offseason and in training camp. But I watched them last night. You get yours, I'll get mine. It's almost like they're like an all-star team. You get yours, I'll get mine. You get yours, I'll get mine. I get mine. And it's like, that's not going to work for the whole season, bro. That's not going to win the championship. So I'm going to leave that right there. Kyrie Irving, bro, that, you know, I don't know if I can say anymore about that situation. If I was the Brooklyn Nets, I would basically film him coming back, turn his jersey in. I'll be honest with you, turn your jersey in. I would not allow him, just my opinion, and I know I said earlier they're missing something. I wouldn't even allow him now to take the shot and come play. I just wouldn't. I'm serious. I would just, bro, give us your jersey. We'll take it from here. Because he's way out there in his own dimension. So at some point, he may decide, I'm going to get the shots, I'm going to show up. That's not good enough for me. I mean, I know your boys will welcome you, but as a franchise, as a professional athlete, he should not have the opportunity to do such, bro. Either you end when season starts or training camp, or you're not in. That's just what it is. That's old-fashioned sports. That's how sports supposed to be. It's not you delegate and pick and choose when you want to be there. I'll do this. Come on, bro. You got to be kidding me. I mean, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed to see how these guys are basically handling themselves. And I'm assuming we're going to talk about Ben Simmons, but I'm ashamed to look at some of these cats, bro. The way they handle themselves in their particular situation. And I'm not saying, even if you take away the money that they're making, I'll push that to the side. What happened to professionalism? What happened to just handling yourself as an adult? And this, to me, I'll say this, especially as Black men, bro, you have many young Black males watching you, looking at you, looking up to you, wearing your sneakers, wearing your jersey. What is the message that you're sending to them? Really, what are you saying? Live life like me? You know, really, do like I do. I don't get it, man, because
I don't really think he cares, to be honest with you.
None of them do, bro. None, because they don't think that they should give anything back. They think it's all about what I've gotten. But realistically, honestly, as Black men in this country, we should always be living and doing something, knowing that someone else is watching us that we're having an impact on. Especially when you reach a level of that status. It's just what it is, bro. You may not sign up for it, but guess what? That's what it is.
Yeah, let's go right into that story. I'm gonna stay with you, Black, on this one. Ben Simmons is suspended. I think he had a cell phone in his pocket. He wouldn't run some of the drills that Doc Rivers had him run. And so they just, I guess Doc Rivers just threw him out of practice and they suspended him. And they had a clip of Embiid saying, listen, I'm not worried about that man. We got a good chemistry here. We're gonna go out there and play hard. We're gonna try to win some games. Your thoughts about Ben Simmons being suspended?
What else he said too is, I'm not a babysitter. That's what he said, point blank. He said, we're not babysitters. He said, we're out here trying to win. We want to win. I want to win. My team wants to win. That says it all, bro. That just says it all. I mean, you can't come in there and act lackluster. I mean, and act like basically you have a right to be there, but you're gonna when the game starts, I'll show up and just play. And I hate to kind of throw this out, but it's like an Allen Iverson type of thing. This cat thinks that he's basically above the team. He can do whatever he wants, just show up. And, you know, other teams are dying to sign him. And bro, I've been saying this for a while. And I don't care where you put him, fourth, fifth, with a third. Bro, his head is messed up. He believes he's the second LeBron. He's been told that in high school. He's been told that, he played 1 year in college. He even played a whole year. He's been told that all the time. So he's walking around with this part of his brain thinking, I'm the second LeBron, but hasn't done it on the court. And that's why no one takes an option to basically trade for him. He's not that talented, bro. He's a diamond in the raw, and that raw is a lot raw. Let's be honest, in my opinion. No one's going to bring him in to screw their team up. Now he's acting like a little girl, in my opinion. He's coming in He's pissed. He's mad because they didn't trade him. Bruh, have you sat down and seriously watched yourself in the playoffs? I doubt it. Have your agent told you to sit down and watch yourself? I doubt it. So realistically, I think the 1 game suspension, hell, this is suspended for 10 games. 10. And I said it last week. The only way I would let him in on the property, if you do X, Y, Z. Before you even come to practice, we need to see you in the gym doing some things, bro. You need to earn your right back on this team. You need to earn your right. And if you don't want to do that, guess what? Get out of here and let your union fight for your paycheck. I'll battle him through the whole year. Oh, he wouldn't get a dime. Fight me every year, every week. Honestly, I would make sure 1 dime did not go to him. And he's due to the end of the season, I'll give you a lump payment. But it's time to get real hard with him because he's walking around like he's bigger and he's showing he's bigger and better than the team. Who's trading for Ben Simmons beyond his talent? We ever seen nobody wants him for his talent. Now he's acting this way. Who's trading for him? I don't want to hear about they're going to swap this, and that. Stop that, Wojciechowski. None of that shit is real. Let's be honest. None of it's real. You make this stuff up. Cut that out. Nobody wants him.
Yeah.
Nobody wants him. No one.
I know there, Bagley the third. There's some things brewing in Sacramento, but we're going to leave that story for another time because it's something brewing over there. But let's stick with Ben Simmons, him being suspended. What's your words, man?
Well, Ben, I put it this way. Doc Rivers put it down straight up. First of all, the front office makes the decision as to what's going on with Ben Simmons, right? They control the contract, they control the money. Doc Rivers is doing one thing I will say is doing it the right way from a coaching standpoint. You know, some people are like, well, you know, get rid of him and do whatever. But Doc Rivers is like, look, if you want to play, you want to come in the right way, then you can play. But I'm not begging you. I'm not playing up to you. I'm not babying you. So what he did was, as he brought him back in, they were asking all these questions from the media, and he simply put it out there and said, look, we're controlling what the team does. We're looking for the chemistry the team needs to have. And he simply he didn't come in with the right attitude. And they can't say, well, what was it? What was it? He said, I'm not going into that. What did I just say? I told y'all. He didn't come in with the right attitude for the day. And I told him to pack his stuff and leave. And he said, look, they said, was that going to be a long term? He said, I don't know. I'm not going into all that. I'm going here day to day. I'm trying to be real with him. But whatever it comes down to, if he comes in with the same attitude, he will not be here. He won't be at the practices because we're not going to let anybody mess up the chemistry. I applaud him for that. Kudos for that because of the factor that if he's going to be there, then people are like, okay, well, you can suspend him for whatever. But if he's not going to cooperate, sooner or later it's going to work itself out. And Doc Rivers did that. Now, the front office has to decide what they want to do. They will not want to play him or suspend him or throw him away, whatever they want to do. That's up to them. But Doc Rivers has approached it the right way from the standpoint of, if you want to play, we'd love to have you. We try to work you through. But if you do not, we're not going to let you mess up the chemistry. So now everybody, most of the teammates they're in a bad position because they want to win. If he's acting crazy, you know, Wnba comes out and says, look, man, I don't have time for that. Now we got to move forward. The season has started. So wait, it's going to work itself out. This is what it is. But that's what you have to do. You have to do it that way from the standpoint of ensuring that you mean business. And he gets it or he doesn't, then it'll be what it is. But I think it's the right way to start with it because if they do plan to do anything in the regular season, you cannot have somebody that's going to be a distraction to your team. Yeah. That's just what it is at the end of the day. That's what it is.
All right, I'm going to stay with you on this story because we talked a little bit about this offline. DeAndre Ayton, he kind of pulls back in the talks for an extension and the contract that he wants, and he's not happy with the Phoenix Suns. What's your thoughts on this story, bro?
Well, I mean, I know why he's not happy, and what you really understand, a lot of the guys in his class are getting extensions, right? You look around, a lot of people that came in the same draft with him, and with him being like, you know, one of the top draft picks, he, of course, says, I want my money, right? But what they're saying is, we're looking at it like, look, we're doing some other things, and eventually you will get your money, you're just not getting it this year. And he's saying, well, I played a hell of a season last year like he did. But prior to that, until Monty Williams showed up, there had to be a lot of coddling going on and whatnot. So they decided to spend the money somewhere else. Does he deserve it down the line? Yeah, he'll get it. I think he'll get it after next year, when at the end of the year. But does he want to do that? Does he want to become a restricted free agent or a free agent? That's on him. But at the end of the day, they made a choice. They decided to do that. Again, people with him being such a high draft pick, they expected more. And he clearly didn't do that until Monty Williams showed up. He was suspended before. Remember about the thing with substance abuse, something like that, something to that with the PEDs or whatever. But to the point of it is, just last year is when he first started to show up, and it took Monty Williams to get in there, along with playing with somebody like a Chris Paul, a real point guard. So I don't know. It's up to him to see how he wants to react to it, and he might be mad, but I understand why you're angry, because you want the money, because other guys are getting their money right away. But if I'm him, I ball out. I just ball out. I ball out hard, and then your money should come. And if it doesn't, then you open the door for yourself when time for free agency. If you want to go somewhere else, you could be mad all year, but it's what it is.
Yeah, Black, I was expecting more from Ayton, because when he was coming out of Arizona, I was thinking this guy was going to come in the league and dominate. He did not dominate that much. And last year, you saw flashes of it in playoffs where he dominated. I don't know. I think Phoenix is playing this smart, to be honest with you. What are your thoughts on this?
2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have said what I'm getting ready to say, but I agree with what I said. Because when I first, heard about this, I was like, wait a minute. This guy's going to be the anchor. You want to take care of him. You want to be happy while you're playing with his money. But when you put together what I said about his first 2 years and basically what you said, Will, you mean using him on draft pick, bro, for 2 years, nobody said your name. No one talked about you, not to mention the other stuff that went on. So what they're basically saying is that we want to see more from you, in so many words. Yeah, because in a sense, they control him. Even after next year, you're restricted. Anybody comes with a boatload of money, they can offer you the same thing, and you got to stay there. You just can't walk away. So in a way, it's smart that they're saying, you know what? Prove it to us that you're worth this, that you're going to be consistent. Because somewhere they're thinking if they give him this money right now, he's going to get fat in the head. And he's going to basically think I got my money and not show up. And there's got to be a reason why, if that's true, they're thinking that. They've seen something inside of you where the hunger doesn't really reside. Now, I will say this about the Monty thing. He didn't play hard till Monty got there. I can't totally roll with that, because if he had a bad situation, he should have been more professional about it and did his thing, regardless who's coaching you. But I understand how Monty got there. He got more inspired. I can understand that. But the 2 years that you were not really doing it and they were paying you, you can't be mad if they basically lost some trust and faith in you. Like I said, basically, this is a chance to grow up. Go ball out, grow up, learn from it, hear what they're saying, digest it. Sometimes criticism can inspire you to do better. It should, especially if it's constructive. If what they're saying to you is constructive, bro, take this in. Allow it to motivate you, ball out to where they're either them or someone else has no other excuse not to give you what you're really worth. But of 1 year, I will admit, if you out of 3 years, only 1 year you came with it, I would be tempted to hold back as well. I would, because I'm afraid that if I give you this and you haven't earned it truly, I'm giving you based on what I think you might do. And you decide to take this money, which is going to be guaranteed for some amount of years, and you decide, hey, I got my money. I can go back to where I was 2 years ago, then they're in trouble. So I understand it. Originally, I was like, why they give Chris Paul all that money and then take care of him? But I understand. I still think they paid Chris Paul too much at his age. But I understand now why they hold them back a little bit. So I don't look at them thinking that it's a bad idea.
College football, man, I don't know. I thought I was going to hang in there for a little bit, and it didn't happen. Now you have Georgia number 1, Cincinnati number 2, Oklahoma number 3. Alabama creeps right back in the top 4 at number 4, followed by Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Michigan State, and Oregon. Iowa falls 9 slots down to the number 11 spot. So I'm going to go with Black first. What's your eye test from last week's games, man?
Iowa's done, bro. they're done, in my opinion. They had it right in front of them. There's no way Purdue can come to your house and spank you like that, make love to your wife, and walk away, bro. I'm sorry.
Making love to their wife. Doing the nasty to your wife. Oh my God.
That's some Danny Green stuff right there. They kind of lost their way, bro. Because not only that, Oklahoma has kind of found this groove. Ohio State has found their groove. We know Alabama's going to find its way back in. just a matter of time. They're going to find their way back in. Georgia, if they can kind of continue, they're going to roll through. So there's going to be some more changes, but there's not going to be a way for them to find their way back in. There's no way. With that defense, I was expecting more. I think they're going to hang around a little bit more. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was really surprised. I was watching that game. I couldn't believe it. But as the more I watched, I knew they was going to kind of come back. They didn't have a chance to come back and do anything with it. To me, the team that, I don't want to put a bullseye on them, Cincinnati, man. I know their schedule is not that hard, but they better run through it and run through it strong. Don't basically have a game where you win by 3 points and come down. You need to go out and clean clock every Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. Because trust me, they're going to look to move you out of that spot. They want you out of there. As a draw, you're not even a draw. So they want to find a way. Anything. I mean, you lose by half a point, bro, they're getting you out of there. So Cincinnati, to me, is a team that I'm going to keep an eye on because they got to go ahead and ball and prove that they deserve the number where they are. And if they can do that, they're going to be fine. I'm going to say this right now. Michigan, fool's gold. Fool's gold, bro. Just a matter of time. They're worse than Iowa. They're going to be another Iowa. But when they lose, they ain't going to be dropped to 11. They're going to get down like 15, 16, and 17.
Yeah. I know Ice don't like us to say the word Michigan, so I'll say that team up north.
Oh, no, you can say that. You can say that on the word. Look, when there's control in the rivalry, you can say what you want to. It don't matter. It's all good.
Well, they play Michigan State, which is a rivalry game for them. So I expect Michigan to lose against Michigan State, to be honest with you. But give me your eye test on college football.
Yeah, it's all over the place. You mentioned before how Iowa loses to Purdue. Purdue used 3 different quarterbacks. They had a runner, they had a thrower, and they had another guy. They had like 3 guys they used at the same time. And people were like, how you win a game like that? And it just showed you how limited Iowa's offense was. Iowa's defense has been great all year, right? And then all of a sudden, they just kind of struggled to score points. So, yeah, they fell real hard. Oregon almost they slipped by California, 24-17. That was a little tight game there, too. Then it just got crazy. And people were telling me, oh, Arkansas. Auburn smacks Arkansas. It's something about when you've been at the grown-ups table and you've been at the kids, the one team you playing been at the kids table for a long time. And like, we're not as good as we used to be yet, but we've been grown-ups. We've been sitting at this table a long time. You just got here. So to watch Auburn take down Arkansas was very impressive. And they had one game to play and they did it well. LSU over Florida. Wow. What? They had one bullet left in the chamber.
And then the coach says he's not coming back next year.
Nah, he's gone. He's gone. Which though, I mean, when you look at it from that standpoint, it was a great run. You had a great team. Sometimes you got to realize it's time to go, right? So Coach O worked real hard to get that job, tried to get it. They didn't want him at first, then they took him back. It's a Cinderella story. You stay too long. It's like Vegas. You see that you win $1 million, sit at the table, I guarantee you, for the next 24 hours, you're giving that money back. That's how it is. Get the hell out. Get the hell out. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Get your ass up and get out. Be glad you won and go retire. They're going to love you forever because you won. But don't get greedy trying to act like you this great coach when you're not. I mean, right now we're not seeing that. So that was interesting. Michigan State barely got by Indiana. I do want to see the Michigan State Michigan game, but Michigan State beat Indiana 20-15. Indiana didn't have his starting quarterback. Penix was out, and they still almost beat Michigan State. So we mentioned about fool's gold. There's going to be a lot of fool's gold going on between Michigan State over the weekend. We want to see who's going to take the bag.
Has anybody seen Clemson and Dabo? Has anybody seen Clemson and Dabo? They're out of the top 25, fellas.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, but it's like that. It's hard to stay on top, man. Also, Baylor over BYU, but the one game really just threw me and blew me away. And I guess it's like whatever. You never know what kids are gonna do. But Washington State beat Stanford 34-31. Shortly thereafter, a couple of days later, they get rid of their coach because he won't take the COVID shot. And it's like, you just won the biggest game of the year for your team. And they said, the head coach and 3 assistants say, we're not getting a shot. Well, then, all right, that's cool. Thank y'all for the game, but we'll see y'all. We're going to roll somewhere else. Thank y'all for winning. We love the program. We glad you like the program, but you got to bounce. You beat Stanford. Stanford who beat Oregon. You know, we go down the ladder, but still one of the biggest games of the year for them. And then you dismiss your coach. So I guess that shot is real, huh?
You know something we forget sometimes? I'm going back to the LSU head coach. We forget when it comes down to college sports. You have to really be a pitch man. And you have to go out there and sell yourself. And I think that was a major problem. I was reading a little bit about the LSU coach with him. When he showed up with that Cajun talking and all that, they ain't like that, bro. I mean, the money would be in LSU. I think they kind of turned on him. Then he turned off a lot of his players. After he won, his head got big. He started yelling and screaming and doing things where he lost on some of his players started to transfer. He lost his players. Some of the players actually went to the president. And then there was one time, I think there was supposed to be a practice held, and the players decided they was going to do protests. He got pissed off about it. Black Lives Matter. He got pissed off about it. So he started turning a lot of people, the players against them, the community, some of the money against them, to where they basically, when he came out this year and was, the team wasn't what it was. And I think they saw too that they're not fighting and playing hard for him. They're just not. So you put all that in the mix.
There's one more thing. There's one more thing. The sexual harassment allegations against him.
With him?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that right there would definitely not fly with LSU, because what happened to the guy that was there a couple of years ago, the grass eating guy.
There you go.
What's his name? Miles? Wes Miles? I mean, something about that Cajun steering, they can't stay away from the woman out there, bro. I'm just sorry. You just can't.
Louisiana women.
Good gracious, man. But it's sad because realistically, he was propped up with an NFL assistant coach and some NFL guys around him, and good quarterback. But he showed, like I said, you're not a good head coach, bro. You're not, because if anything, even when they left and Burrows left, you take what you have and you bring it on. But I think it's a smart move. I mean, I was happy when the LSU won, but I think it's time for him to go. I mean, if you're trying to do anything, yeah, you got to go. You got to go.
I got to give 2 shots out, and I think me and Ice talked about this offline. Booker McFarland has found his place in college football, in the studio, commentating, and really giving us updates about games and giving us insights about games. And RG3, a color commentator with Baylor and on ESPN, does a heck of a job. I never would have thought that RG3 would be in a booth doing the job that he's doing, but I didn't even know it was him at one point. And then they showed the shot, and I'm like, that's RG3, and he was really kind of. So they found their spot. So I gotta give 2 shots out. Black, who are the teams in the games that you want to watch this weekend that we should be focused on this weekend?
I mean, right there, we talked about it earlier, man. Michigan and Michigan State, bro. I mean, because I think Michigan's going to choke up, cough up this game here. I can't wait to play Ohio State. I wish that was this week. I can't wait for that one to come, but because Harbaugh is just basically treading water, but he's going to be there for a while. But to me, it's got to be Michigan State, bro. That's the game. At least my eyes will be on. Because to me, if Michigan can basically, I don't mean win, smack down Michigan State. You smack down all the other schools, smack them down. Don't barely win, smack them down and show you're a force to be reckoned with. Then, I mean, think about believing them.
Ice, I know you're cool. That's why they call you Ice. Cool, calm, and collected when the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. But I know in your heart of hearts, you want Ohio State to just beat the brakes off of Michigan when that game happens. But what are the games that you're looking forward to seeing this weekend?
I'll definitely, because of the rivalry aspect. Oregon is just kind of tipping the bye, and this team that they're playing has the ability to show up sometimes, and I think the rivalry might do some good as well. UCLA, Oregon, just because I think I'm gonna be watching that. They did it last week. Maybe they'll do it again. LSU versus Ole Miss. One more time, baby. One more time. No doubt. No, I don't want to take the Western Correspondence game, so I'm gonna leave the other one alone. The other one I wouldn't mind. I want to see what's going to happen. Notre Dame versus USC. I might be able to look at that. But I'm gonna leave that last one for you. I know you know what I'm talking about. I'll leave it right there.
Oh no, man, you can go ahead and talk about it. That's good. Go ahead.
No,
And talk about it.
well, I mean, is what I know you being a West, Coast correspondent. One of your favorite teams is BYU, but I'm believing the hype with Washington State, baby. Any team that the coach get fired, you still balling, you be a solid Stanford team. Hey, let's see what happens. Maybe they're gonna be pissed off. They got an interim coach. I just want to see if they can rebound and win another game.
Houston found a way to get the series back to Houston without going down 3 games. And I'm a Yankees fan. I can't stand the sight or the thought of the Boston Red Sox getting to the World Series. I don't care if they win or not. They shouldn't go past this. Even though Houston Astros, the way I feel about them, it's like the lesser of 2 evils right now.
Oh my God. Come on, man.
So you know how this country rolls. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. And so that's what Houston is.
Oh my God. Really?
I've heard that in a while, man. Wow.
You talking about cheating and you a Yankees fan?
Man.
You talking about cheating? You talking about cheating and you a Yankees fan? How dare you? Really? That came out your mouth?
Yes, it did.
You talking about somebody cheating in the Yankees?
Yes,
oh my
it did.
God.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Woo.
Major League Baseball court with ice water. What you got, sir?
Damn, you need to go back and check the 80s. All of a sudden, the Yankees found ways to get players that nobody else can get. And then the legal contracts. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of that. Anyway, this is the here and now. Major League Baseball report. We are now into the league championship series. In the American League, really crazy barn burner of a series between the Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros. Boston took out taking out everybody, took down the Tampa Bay Rays, who I like, and they was coming for Houston. In fact, it got to the point where they jumped out and we had 1-1 series, right? Tied 1-1. Boston rallies back, blows out Houston, goes up 2-1. Houston came back last night or the other day and blew them out 9-0. And today, Houston Astros up 7-1, baby, making it happen. So this is a hell of a series. With 2-2, looks like it might be 3-2 if for Houston. Again, secretly, I'm gonna say it. I said it before. I don't care who is out there. Dusty Baker deserves a shot, man. I want him to get a ring, and I'm cheering for Dusty because Dusty's a good guy, hell of a player back in the day, and a solid manager. He just doesn't follow like everybody else does. So we'll see what happens. I hope I don't jinx them, but they're leading right now. I see 2-2, but they're up 7-1. It was. I know you got it in front of you.
Yeah,
7-1.
Yeah.
7-1, and they might be moving up 3-2 in the series. In the National League, though, man, what can you say? Atlanta Braves versus the Dodgers. Atlanta leads 2-1. I just thought the Dodgers was gonna just jump over and roll them simply because the way that they were able to outlast San Francisco, right? Great, winner take all game to move over to the championship series. But now Atlanta's like, no, au contraire, mon frere. Don't turn it over to them just yet. We're gonna make it hard for them. We'll see though, because the Dodgers, that's how they play. If you don't want it, they'll take it. But Atlanta's showing me something. They have a young nucleus for the most part. They're playing real hard. You have a lot of young players over there that are very hungry. They want the opportunity to move over and go to the World Series. But then again, it is the Dodgers. Right now, that's 2-1. So getting very close to the World Series. That's must-see TV because right now you're coming down to it. Even if whoever makes the World Series, I think it's going to be a compelling series. It doesn't matter. I think it's going to be exciting because these are 4 really good teams. As you can see, the way that they're battling back and forth. Again, if you want to watch some really good baseball, this is the time to watch it because it's on the edge of your seat. Even Fox is jumping up and showing you the way that they cover the game is a different kind of way too. Mm-hmm. So, and now, I don't know. I've never seen these baseball players. I must be old because I watched one of the games where Houston came back and the guy hits the home run and then he starts pointing to his fan like it's my time, my time. And I'm like, man, they wilding out. He my time holds the bat, flips it up in the air and starts walking.
Boston's at home plate. And like,
I'm sitting there going like, between Boston and Houston, I watched a lot of sports in my lifetime, but these are two of the most cockiest damn teams I've ever seen in sports. I'm serious. They like, and nobody's talking about that. I'm sitting there going like, they like pointing to the dugout with my time, your time, his time. I mean, I've never seen this much cockiness in baseball. And I'm surprised nobody's talking about it. Usually it's those old cats going, man, we got to play baseball a certain kind of way. You out of control. Y'all doing too much, blah, blah, blah. But I ain't heard nobody say how cocky these guys are.
I think that's done on purpose because they're trying to catch a younger audience. And that's what the younger audience wants to see. And that's what's attracting them to these games. So I think they're keeping a cap on a lot of the old timers saying, this is not baseball. This, you're supposed to do that. The old rules. They're like, no, don't mention that. Let it ride because it speaks for itself. I liked it. That when he did it, the first time he did it, Boston went on a tirade for 2 games. Like, okay, it's our time now for 2 games. And then it forced Houston to kind of man up and come back the way they did. But I love it. I love the trash talk, all that stuff. I love it.
It's cool. I guess my point though is, see, the old part about baseball for me, it could be your time, but you better believe a pitch is coming towards your behind next time you step up to the plate.
That's what I thought was going to happen to him.
See, that's the difference between modern baseball and old school. The Bob Gibsons of the world. You might try to show me up after you hit a home run. I bet you be on your backside next time when you come up there. Just a little warning shot. Not trying to hit you in the head, but a little warning shot that there's respect in this game.
Because he did get some chin music the pitch before.
Right.
And then he hit it out at the pitch. But my dad said in due time, that will happen. They haven't forgot about it, but, in due time. Usually we go to questions from the goons, but I wanted to tackle this subject that I know I heard about it in July. And maybe one of you had mentioned it, the race norming in the NFL. And I sent you guys an article back in July, but there seems to be a lot more traction to this particular story today because of the settlement. There were 2 players, Kevin Henry and Najee Davenport, who sued the NFL because of this race norming where they were saying that Black players couldn't get some of the benefits because they were kind of doing this kind of this test and that Black players scored lower so that they couldn't get the benefits because of CTEs. So it was based on race and discrimination, and the NFL kind of forced doctors to rate NFL players, especially if they're Black, to the point where they weren't getting these benefits because I guess the NFL agreed to like $1 billion to give to the players, but the Black players weren't getting it. And then I saw another story with Armon Gordon, who was a NFL player for several teams, who has signs of dementia at 33. And him and his wife are going after funds with the NFL. So I wanted to throw that out there. Ice, do you have any kind of thoughts of what's going on with the race norming? And now the NFL saying they're trying to write it out and that they're going to reevaluate the players that didn't make it before and actually give them some services.
Yeah, well, if you go back in that article, I read the article, and part of the article really goes deep because it talks about it. This race norming is always going back to the point of slavery, right? Mm-hmm. When you have people coming over here and then trying to keep people down because of the way that they were, the point about the slaves and whatnot, and how they came over here and they had kept them in a certain kind of way. And then it even expanded out to other certain groups like gays and other folks like that too, trying to say how there's a constant rollover of with this race norming, and the NFL has just been doing it for so long that nobody paid attention to them because they've been doing their own, been making their own rules. So when you read about how deep it is and how crazy it is, what I'm trying to figure out, it's kind of like, and we talked about that before, we talked about that on the other time, about how things go on for so long and then people are just catching it. The NFL has been doing it for a long time. What it does show you is that the players, particularly African-American players, somebody's not paying attention. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's a player association or whatever, but to know this is happening and knowing that these men are having these surgeries and getting concussed and whatnot. And then they still can't get the money that they're owed. And not just the money, but they can't even get the true medical attention they need to help them deal with this stuff. Then we wonder why they're killing them damn selves, because it's too much pressure on their brains and their heads, because they're not having a proper medical treatment. But nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention. But then again, it comes back to, you think about these African-American players thinking about themselves, when it's like, when the hell are you going to stand up? You want to stand up for something? I mean, Black Lives Matter, I get all that, and then Kaepernick, but damn, this is you. When you get old, they throwing you out on the trash heap. You might want to stand your ass up for this, right? Because in 2-3 years, this is you. Because when you turn around and you see that the average football career is 3 years if you're lucky, and if you stay longer and you still get punished the way that you do, basically, it alluded to basically wild them like animals. Like you train chickens and you train pit bulls. You're good for as long as you can perform. But when you can't perform, they throw your ass out on the scrap heap. They don't care about taking care of you or making sure you get the proper medical treatment. And this is what's happening. Nobody said anything. Now all of a sudden, we had these stories coming up. But my point of it is, when are you going to stand up for something? This is something you need to stand up for. If you don't want to stand up for Kaepernick, that's on you. I get that, whatever you, because you don't want to lose your money. But this right here is going to affect you. It is the reason why we have cats like Junior Seau, man, killing himself because that concussions and stuff is happening. You are basically meat on a slab, bro. Meat on a slab. And then they just wait for you to be the talent. They get tired of you. They get another dog and shony pole. They bring it to the table. And if you make it through, hopefully you took care of yourself and you got some money. If you do, you do. If you don't, oh well, cuz.
Yeah. Like basically what they're saying is that it's not the CTEs that's affecting you. You didn't have a real good cognitive kind of high cognitive kind of ability anyway. You weren't smart enough anyway. So why are we giving you money when it could be because you're dumb, or you don't have the education, or you're Black, your brain is a little bit smaller. And that's been a stereotype that's been happening for centuries. And the NFL found a way to use that to not pay some of the bills of African-American players suffering from CTEs.
Let me just, I don't have much to add to what I said other than, I don't know what the NFL union does, bro. On a day-to-day basis, I'm not sure what they do. I just don't know. I really don't have a clue, because when do you see them stand up and do anything? Realistically, when do you see them stand up as a collective unit and lead the men of NFL? It's a microcosm of, when I look at the Black players in NFL, it's a microcosm of what we see out here in the world, bro. As Black men as a whole, just being honest, we don't care until it affects us. We just don't care. Until it affects you personally, you don't care. Trust me, just like with Colin Kaepernick, if these cats threaten not to play the rest of the season, Black players, until they get this straight and these players get their money, guess what you think would happen overnight? What do you think would happen? But at what point do they use any leverage that they have? Because they're too more concerned about, when I score, I get an interception, I'm running to the end zone, I'm pointing to a fucking camera. Let's be honest. It's more about validation. So what we're seeing and what you're saying is, about the history of the slavery, when we wake up to it, when we wake up and do something about it, because I get tired of blaming them, but at the same point, it's simply not new. I remember when they were fighting to get the settlement for the the concussions.
Mm-hmm.
You know who was leading the charge for this? I'm gonna be honest. Guess who was leading the charge for this to get this done? Mike fucking Ditka. Name me a Black person that's out there front spearheading this. Knowing that the league's majority Black and they will be affected. Name me a player or a retired player. Mike Ditka was out there yelling and screaming, getting this drummed up. So I said to myself, okay, Mike Ditka got it done. Now, so now when we're not paying attention, I say us, meaning as Black players not paying attention, NFL basically went and work this out where we ain't got to pay them. Luckily, we had two players smart enough to say, you know what, Susan, it's not right. But the NFL, as men, forget the football. How you don't care about the brothers that look like you, that came before you, to allow you to make the money that you're making, allow you to do what you're doing? Because if it's not bothering you, I don't care. But like I said, this won't be you in a few years. You don't think this is your track to walk down in a few years? I don't understand it. I mean, it's amazing, but that is the mentality of us as people, as men. And as you're seeing it play out. Yes, the NFL is doing what they're doing. But again, if the players saw even reading this in the union, I remember years ago, I worked at this factory, and the company didn't want to basically pay the new union wages, all this stuff. And they said, basically, no, we're not doing this, but let's get together Wednesday and we'll talk about it a little bit more. The union said over the weekend to the workers, Monday morning, nobody's working. Before we talk to them Wednesday, Monday morning, nobody will show up to work. Don't show up. And if we're going to give you a schedule, show up and stand outside, we're going to take turns. Guess what? By Tuesday, we had our wages. We had what we deserved, bro. So I'm saying, I don't understand this with NFL players. But you know why they won't do that? Because they don't get their paycheck on Tuesday, bro. They won't get their paycheck. They won't. So all this doesn't matter. It's a bunch of, I hate to say it, it's a bunch of smoke blown around because they're so self-absorbed. They don't give a shit about nobody else than themselves, bro. They don't care. No one cares. This is Kaepernick, if the players out there with the CTEs, you know, when you're young, you think nothing's going to happen to you anyway. And I'm just going to pull this name out of a hat. You think the running back for the Cowboys cares about players that came before him that's dealing with this? You think Zach Prescott cares about that? Realistically. You think any of these players care about any of those players that came before them that's dealing with this issue? It's a fat no. 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 It is what it is.
Ice, what's your last second shot?
Yeah, last second shot is just kind of piggyback that to the standpoint of when people have to do better, players have to do better. But I'm going to flip this around real quick. Look like Miami Dolphins trying to wake up a little bit, talking about trying to get that Deshaun Watson for the trading deadline. But all the drama going on right there, at the end of the day, all they care about is winning, bro. They going to try to get that Deshaun Watson. Try to tell you that a long time ago, y'all can work all them parameters out all you want to. End of the day, they're like, dude, we trying to get that bag, bro. In order to get that bag, they need Deshaun Watson. Go figure. Check it out.
Last second shot, Black.
I don't know if this is a shot or it's a punch. But I was watching NFL Countdown today, and you got Mike Green out there. Basically, right now, ESPN is taking Greening and they're taking what's that other idiot, A. Smith, and they doing everything. You got Stephen A. Smith for broken hockey. Michael Weirborn standing out there, can barely stand up, bro. I know that's your boy. Don't get me wrong. He can barely stand up straight. But why they got him out there with his suit all open and trying to? Let's be honest. You have much young talent out there, ESPN, ABC. Find some young talent. They don't even have to be ex-players. They have to be those heads that you believe in. Allow them to come on and talk about basketball. You don't have to. Stephen A. Smith and Michael Wilbon and Greenberg, they don't have to do everything. They don't have to do everything. There's other jobs to be had. I'm sorry, man. They're not going to make your ratings go up. They're not. They're just not. They really don't. Maria Teller was one person. Now you're trying to replace with all these people, 5, 6 people? Are you kidding me? Let's get real, bro.
Yeah. I guess my thoughts go back to the race norming and the NFL. And my thought is a rhetorical question, basically. How do we make the NFL accountable for what they've been doing for centuries? How do we do that? How do we do that? It's a rhetorical question, but I want to put that on people's mind. How do we make the NFL accountable? Because they're giving us distractions. They're giving us a halftime show. They're giving us all these different distractions so that we don't keep our eye on the ball of what they're really doing. How do we make them accountable for all the atrocities they do, especially to players of color? We'll see you next time. Take care. I thought this week we should talk about the pound for pound power rankings according to Yahoo. And so some of these folks I agree with, some of these folks I don't agree with. I don't agree with the number one guy. I think he's a fraud. You have Carnelo Alvarez, who has a 56-1-2 record with 38 knockouts. He's currently the what they call the WBC franchise middleweight champion, the WBA, the WBC, the WBO super middleweight champion. And he was ranked number one before when we had this discussion on our podcast on the Goon Squad Sports Radio show. Any of these kind of fighters in the top 10 pound for pound fighters in the rankings kind of stand out to you? And there's some missing folks in here too. You don't have Anthony Joshua or Joshua Anthony, and you don't have Deontay Wilder in this top 10. But I'll turn it over to you, bro.
Yeah, when I look at this though, what I find interesting to me is number 2 is Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And he's 37-0, 28 knockouts, WBO welterweight champion, and he's number 2. But we're still waiting for him to kind of battle somebody in welterweight to kind of, give him the credit that he deserves. He has that coming up when he's fighting Sean Porter pretty soon. But how is Errol Spence number 5? Errol Spence 27-0, 21 knockouts. He has all the other belts. IBF, WBC welterweight champion, and has fought a number and defeated a number of quality opponents at welterweight, but he's 5. I don't understand that.
Didn't understand that either.
Tyson Fury just moved up into this pound for pound. Something about you never would have seen with Deontay Wilder in here, even when he was 40-0. They wouldn't give him the love. But Tyson Fury is up here. I like Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko is pretty good. But what I find ironic though is, and I think this is how they roll it, this tells you what they're thinking of. Number 9 is Oleksandr Usyk, the man that beat Joshua.
Yeah.
So how does a cruiserweight jump in, basically taking Joshua's spot when there's so many other people?
Yeah, I guess because they're giving him credit because he beat a heavyweight, the heavyweight champion. So they're giving him that credit. And he has the IBF, the WBA, and the WBO championship.
Right.
But 13 knockouts.
Right, but I got this too, though. Here's my thing. They're fighting. He's in a rematch with Joshua, right? So Joshua has lost twice, as we've already said, to what we consider subpar talent or to his level. So if Joshua wins this next fight in the rematch, is Joshua back in the top 10? I mean, he's shown you twice that he's fought against so-called inferior talent. You got to work your way back up. You can't just automatically say you one of the top guys, because if he was, why would you lose to these guys?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we talking about pound for pound. There has to be some other people that deserve to be up there. So I don't get that. And from that standpoint of why you just get to run up there, and there's enough welterweights and some other folks that may belong in pound for pound.
Yeah. I always thought that Errol Spence should have been higher in this ranking. It's from the last time we talked. Lopez, he was number 5. Now he slips down to number 6. And, I've always kind of had issues with the pound for pound, who should be pound for pound, who should be a top 10. I'm pretty sure that Tyson Fury, he was number 8. He earned his spot for pound to pound, number 4 right now. But I, just like you said earlier, I just didn't understand why Crawford is up that high when he didn't fight the guys that Errol Spence had fought. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't understand it. Even though he had more fights, he had 37 fights. He's 37-0. Errol Spence is 27-0. Maybe they're giving him the lean on that because he had 10 more fights and he won those. Well, a lot of those fights were in Nebraska.
Yeah. And then they're at the 140 weight, 135, 140 weight. 147 is where he's at now with the welterweight. So if you're chasing the welterweight champion, the guy that's supposed to be the man in that division, the A side, if you will, in Spence Jr., how can you be above him?
Okay. When
you're chasing him, I mean, that's your next. That's who you want to see, and you're even fighting the guy that he beat before in Sean Porter. So you're ahead of him, okay, because you fought 10 more fights. That just don't That does not, that doesn't resonate with me. That doesn't make sense.
Let's do this, bro. Let's come up with our own pound for pound ranking for next week. And it'll be from us, or who we think is pound for pound, the top 10 pound for pound fighters. And we can throw in some honorable mention. But I've never agreed with these rankings from, the different outlets. And not to say they do a bad job. I guess they can justify it in any way they want. But let's put together, and we'll report it on the show next week, of our top 10 pound for pound fighters, all weight classes, because I think it would look a lot different than what we've been shown. Any other boxing news that you want to report this week?
Yeah, I was going to talk about Mikey Garcia getting upset at welterweight by Sandor Martin.
Okay.
Interesting fight. Mikey Garcia is just, I'm not sure if he's out of shape. He had rust or whatever, but Martin won it fair and square. Surprised a lot of people with that win, but it was a good fight. But last but not least, I'd be remiss if I did not tell you that this weekend on Saturday is a great fight down in Georgia. Jamel Herring versus my son, Shakur, the real deal. What you want me to do, Stevenson?
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, they're fighting. It is one of the perhaps first real tests for Shakur, right? From the standpoint of fighting a guy that's, been a champion, stepping up in class. From that standpoint, it's going to test Shakur. We'll see what's happening with him. And then also could be the start of to let us know whether or not Shakur Stevenson is ready for the big time. I think he is. It's going to be a hell of a fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So we will give you an update. Stay tuned for our top 10 pound for pound fighters next week. We will put it on the show next week. And it's going to look a little different from this. The Yahoo. You want to check out Yahoo's boxing pound for pound rankings. I think they did it for October 14th, up until October 14th. We're going to give you our own, especially after that fight, after the fight this Saturday. We'll give you our own. It might be one of the guys that win that fight this Saturday. Because there are some fighters that I know there are lighter weight classes that I would like to put on this list. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what you come up with. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about these lists. You have your list, I have mine, and we can compare and contrast. I think it's great.
Okay. We will do that next week. Take care.